I've been over the Miami Heat schedule frontwards and backwards, frontwards again, then backwards again, and I keep coming up with the same thing. 82-0, it's a mathematical inevitability. And then, even though we obviously don't know the playoff matchups, foe, 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 foe. Oh, it is. It is. Thursday episode of the Donno Drop here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. I am Alex Donno with you for the next, 40 minutes or so. And we're going to be talking to a great one. Colleague of ours here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network, Ricky J. Marc, is going to join us in a little bit with Mr. J. Marc. We're going to talk about the Miami Heat schedule that has dropped this week. It's weird the way that it's really front loaded at home early on, and then it's loaded road games right after that. They're trying to sabotage Miami in any way they can. The schedule's very herky-jerky. I like opening up against Chicago, and then second game of the year on October 21st, you get to go up against the team that knocked you out of the playoffs last year and nearly won themselves an NBA title in the Boston Celtics. You're going to face those guys really, really early on. LeBron James agrees to that 2-year, $97 million extension with the Los Angeles Lakers that will, according to the duration of that extension, would keep him under contract for the next 3 full seasons because the extension kicks in after this coming season. But he does have, after the next 2 seasons, he's got a player option to opt out. And what's this? It aligns perfectly with the potential eventual NBA career of his son Bronny, who would be coming into the league the same year that LeBron has that player option at the end of that extension with the Lakers. And LeBron has made it abundantly clear he wants to live the dream. And I think this would be the coolest thing ever. And obviously, just generationally, you don't usually have a guy like LeBron who can play at the high level he's playing at into his late 30s. And then pretty soon, I would imagine into his 40s, he's still going to be one of the better players in the league, where you have it work out that you could actually play in the league together with your own offspring. So LeBron wants to take that opportunity. He wants to make that kind of history. And so maybe his son would end up a Laker and LeBron will stick around in Los Angeles for another couple of years after, he's got that player option, or wherever Bronny winds up, that's where LeBron James is going to want to play 3 years from now and beyond. Wow, I'm already getting heckled here from the peanut gallery. David says, Donno, up your gift game on Twitter. I've got a rotation, David, of like 6 or 7 gifts, and I only use those 6 or 7 gifts. I try to rotate them evenly, and it's usually when I'm tweeting about either a show I'm going to do about the Miami Hurricanes or a show I'm going to do like today about the Miami Heat and or the Miami Dolphins. I've got like 3 Dolphins gifts that I rotate between, 3 Heat gifts, and 3 Hurricanes gifts that I rotate between. I'm a creature of habit. I'm a simple man. I'm not one of these Gen Zs that has like 1,000 different gifts that they rotate between. I've got like a steady 9 gift rotation. It is what it is. I'm never going to change. I am never going to change. Still up your gift game, he says. And seeing David in there reminds me, if you guys want to join in on the live chat is open here on YouTube. If you're watching us, whether you're watching us live right now at 2:35 p.m. here on this glorious 18th day of August. I had to double check my watch to make sure I knew what date it was. The year of our Lord, 2022. Or if you're watching this later on, do us a solid, my friends. Smash the like button. Smash the like button and subscribe to the 5 Reasons Sports Network YouTube channel. The show is proudly brought to you by BetterEdge.com, BETTOR Edge.com. Use our referral link, BetterEdge.com/5Reasons to get a $20 sign-up bonus. It's a new take on sports betting. They're not run by a casino. They don't take any juice or hidden fees. It's peer-to-peer, and it's fully legal in 45 out of 50 states, including Florida. I'm not sure the 5 states that it's not legal in. I think Hawaii is one of them. But if you live in Hawaii, like you're living in paradise, you have to accept a few things that are not going to go your way. I'm not sure the 5 states that it's not legal in, but you're missing out, folks. In Florida, betteredge.com. It's always up and it's always working. And we're also brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the official fantasy sports sponsor of the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Make sure you sign up with our code 5, F-I-V-E, because they're going to match your first deposit 100% up to $100. How good is that? So the Dolphins have another preseason game coming up on Saturday. And by the way, you see this hat that I'm wearing? Huge shout out to one of our viewers, Adrian G, who sent this to me. He made this. Like, I don't know if he actually like made the hat, but he sewed or sewn or sew. I don't know the proper conjugation of that. He sewed this Dolphins logo onto this hat and was nice enough to ship it to me. Thank you so much, Adrian. And I love it, man. Whatever, I'm sure I'm going to get out to a few Dolphin games this year. I'm going to be wearing my Dan Marino throwback, and I'm going to be wearing this hat because the Dan Marino throwback is white. The hat is white. I'm going to look clean. I'm going to look fresh. So thank you so much, Adrian. I really, really appreciate it. So the Dolphins have another preseason game Saturday. This one is going to be the quote-unquote dress rehearsal where, you know, if starters are going to play, this is the time to do it, right? I'm not necessarily thinking all the starters play, but whatever starters are going to get a chance to play the second preseason game, this is going to be their chance to do it against the Las Vegas Raiders this Saturday night at Hard Rock Stadium. I don't know what Mike McDaniel is going to do with Tua. We probably won't know until about 90 minutes before game time. I think that's when they have to announce the inactives, or what they called it last week was the not expected to play list. I don't think they have to announce that until about 90 minutes before game time, but it seems very iffy as to whether McDaniel is going to have Tua play. And even if he does play, he's probably not going to play maybe more than a few series just to sort of get his sea legs under him. But then you also have the inherent risk, because we saw, you know, what happened with Zach Wilson for the Jets week 1 of preseason. It turned out not to be as bad as they thought it was, but he had a knee injury scare. He had a scare. And quite frankly, we know that Tua has a history of being a bit fragile, right? So maybe Mike McDaniel does not want to take the chance with Tua. I wouldn't blame him if Tua doesn't play, if Tyreek Hill doesn't play. Certain veterans like Teron Armstead, who have been in the league for 1,000 years, don't really need preseason. So we're going to see the way that they play this. But I want to talk about this Miami Heat schedule, and it's why we bring on very good friend of ours, very good friend of the show, the man, the myth, the legend. Or you wearing the Lyon jersey today. You're branching out. Ricky J. Marc, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Donno. I feel fantastic. Happy lovely lady Leo day. You know, it's a good day.
What does that mean? Is that like an astrology thing? I don't even.
Well, you remember that beef that you had a couple of months ago with a certain tinfoil hat wearing individual?
Yes, because I also wear a tinfoil hat, and this town ain't big enough for the both of us.
Exactly. Apparently, rumor has it someone turns 25 today. So that's
wow.
Those are my sauces.
Okay,
that's what they're saying right now out here in these saucy streets.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
And happy birthday to her. I had no clue. I'm terrible. And here's the thing, Ricky, I'm terrible at keeping up with people's birthdays to begin with, but I play it up, because if I acknowledge anybody on their birthday, then the other people who I forget will be like, wait, how come you remembered that person's birthday but not mine? So I'm just consistent unless you're like a really, 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 and I'm not saying that she's not a close friend, but we don't live in the same state. So it's, you know, it's kind of hard to chill. But unless you're like a blood relative or like someone that I see on the regular, I'm not going to wish you a happy birthday, because I'm opening myself up to criticism from others.
That's fair. You know what it is? I think the safest way to go about doing it is if you organize yourself digitally, for example, via a calendar or whatever. Just put the day in the calendar, set it to recurring every year, and every day at around noon or 3 p.m. you'll get the reminder, and there you go. You'll be like, okay, quick text, you let them know you're thinking of them, and you just move on with your day.
You know where I keep my calendar? I keep my calendar right here,
right in the steel trap.
can be very problematic for me
Well,
remembering
there you go.
things.
Well, no, I mean, judging by what I think it was PB Matthews said, there's a lot more room for stuff to move around in that head of yours since you're doing one of these. So I
Yeah,
think you'll be doing
it's true.
a lot better remembering stuff now, man. It looks like we're both getting fit. Look at that! What a time to be
Absolutely. I mean,
alive.
we're on this journey together, Ricky. Yeah,
Ooh,
look at you. Look at
man.
like you definitely for like in the times and the only time that I ever really see Ricky face to face is when I have him on the show. But like I noticed the difference. Like there's a little bit less Ricky, like
Yeah.
physically, mentally, you're always filling the entire room, but physically, there's a little less of you every time.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. That's just where we're at right now. Hopefully, we can continue, and before long, we'll have our own simp gangs, like the certain individual celebrating a birthday today.
I love it. All right, so give me your immediate thoughts on the Miami Heat schedule. I see 82-0. There's no ifs, ands, or no ifs, ands, or buts about it, Ricky. But it's interesting how it looks very loaded up at home early on. I think 10 of
Hmm.
14 at home, and then it's like 12 of 15 on the road. So it's like, could we get maybe a little bit more balance in the way that they shake that out?
Yes and no at the same time. Look, I think Heat fans, Heat Nation will always find something to complain about regarding the schedule. One of the highest seeds to not play on Christmas. A few other things here and there. Look, those days are coming. I think we need to be honest with the situation right now. Up until the point when the schedule was released, have we done anything this summer to suggest that we should be excited heading into next season? Uh,
Not really.
have we seen any move? Oh wait, there was that one move when PJ Tucker left. Other
Yeah.
than that,
I
the
mean,
team is the team's another year older. Um, yeah, that's nothing really going on. We're not very newsworthy, and on top of that, they don't
yeah,
have anything to talk about because they don't have any moles in the front office like a lot of these other franchises.
that's right. Yeah, I did like keeping Oladipo, which was a move because they had to
Yeah,
sign him
yeah.
to a new contract. I like that move.
Yeah, no, no. You know what? Look, I am optimistic about Victor Oladipo's performance this season. I think he just the other day said that this is one of the first times in quite some time in which he was able to really play summer basketball. That's great. It's a great way to establish some sort of a rhythm, a physiological rhythm heading into training camp, which should be in about a month or so, a little over a month and a half from now. I
Yeah.
just hope he stays healthy, and if he can regain a consistent level of play, especially comparable to the way he was before the injury, I think it bodes well for Miami. But again, it's more than just a healthy Depot that this Heat team needs. I mean, I think we've been talking a lot about some of the trades that have needed to happen in order to bring in a legitimate second star or first star, so Jimmy doesn't have to go nuclear every playoffs. And I think we've had the Bam Adebayo conversation one too many times in the last 6 months. But hey, look, this is the way things are right now, and eh, eh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
By the way, what do you think is going to end up happening with Kevin Durant? Because it looks like the Nets are really trying to
Mm,
tease, keeping the band together, running it back. He a couple weeks ago, I think less than 2 weeks ago,
hmm.
he made a new ultimatum. Maybe it wasn't the strongest ultimatum after all. Do you think he's going to end up staying there for a while?
Oof, that's a good question. I will start by saying this: I am very happy with the owner saying what he said the other day, expressing tweeting his solidarity with the current hired staff over at the Brooklyn Nets
Yeah, that's important for sure.
franchise. That's awesome because I'm glad to see that players can't force their way into certain personnel changes and things like that. Because quite frankly, players have a horrible history of building teams. Ask LeBron, ask Michael Jordan, ask just about any player who demanded full control or semi full control of roster construction. You leave that to the people responsible for building the rosters. You let the owners govern. You let the general managers manage, and you go out there and play basketball. Get your sponsorships and do the best you can in your life. I'm glad that they did. Oh, I think it was Joe Tsai. I'm glad he did what he did. But as far as trading him being traded, I think we may have seen the best offers. I say this on no authority. I'm just speculating here, but I think we've seen the best. I think they've probably already seen the best offers, and it's just a matter of deciding what they want to do next with Kevin Durant. Now,
Right.
do I think Miami has a shot at him based on what they'd have to give up to get him? No, I mean, I wouldn't. You're giving up Kevin Durant for who? Tyler Hero? No, that's not going to happen. We know Bam can't be sent back to Brooklyn in a deal involving Kevin Durant that still maintains Ben Simmons on the roster. Heat fans don't get too excited over something like that. You don't have the assets. This isn't the summer of 2004 when you had Caron Butler, Brian Grant, and Lamar Odom and a disgruntled Shaq in LA. This isn't that situation. I know it's easy to think that, oh man, yeah, Pat Riley, he's going to pull it off. I think we also have to look at the context of those deals when they happened. Don't expect KD to show up. I think better trades or more likely trades are out there. Maybe Donovan Mitchell, even though I think the Rudy Gobert trade made it clear that they're going to be asking for a lot more than what Miami's prepared to provide, even with a third or fourth team. But, I'm prepared to be surprised. This is the NBA. It's never a dull moment, even in the what is it, the dog days of summer, as they call it. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens, just like everybody else.
Yeah, and I think you're right about the situation. And I think my hope was when it first looked like KD wanted to be traded, my hope was that, hey, since he's a little bit older, I didn't know how the Nets were going to play it, right? Since he was disgruntled and a little bit older, maybe you could get him at a bit of a discount. But credit to the Nets, they've made it clear, at least maybe this is the greatest bluff of all time for now, but they've made it clear they're not going to take less than what he's worth. And, the Heat just can't swing it.
Yeah, I'd like to see what happens with Kyrie Irving before Kevin Durant, because I think that will help me figure out whether or not he might actually be moved between now and training camp. Because just yesterday, if not earlier today, I forget because time is a myth these days. The globalists have invented time, and as a result, it's a myth. There we go.
Illuminati.
Yeah. Shout out to that $47 million payout. Like you're not in prison. Anyways, well, no, look, because I'm intrigued by the 2-year extension that LeBron James just signed with the Los Angeles Lakers, because he normally wouldn't strap himself in like that unless he was given. My guess is that unless he was given assurances that something was coming. Now, does that mean that the Russell Westbrook trade is happening today, tomorrow, next week? I don't know. I wish I could tell you. But I don't know. Everything LeBron does is calculated. And I have a feeling that this is a guy who still wants to win championships. And this puts him in position to do so, provided certain deals are done. We've heard about Kyrie Irving. We've heard about some of these other potential deals. I'd like to see what would happen, because there's still time before training camp. And, honestly, I think it would be hilarious if Kyrie Irving, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis were on the same team.
It would be.
And it would be intriguing to see how that would actually play out, especially at this point in their respective careers. But if that deal happens, then I think the skids would be greased on a potential Kevin Durant trade to wherever it is he ends up. I think the Washington Wizards could be a dark horse for his services if they end up.
But he's from the area, which is it's been teased over the years. Every time KD's been available, it's like maybe he goes to the hometown team.
Not only that, but if you think about the fact that they've got a couple young prospects, and I imagine a good deal of first round and second round picks that they could unload, as well as a recently re-upped Bradley Beal. Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal in our nation's capital. I mean, crazier things have happened.
That's true. On the new LeBron extension, correct me if I'm wrong, it's got the opt-out after the first year of the extension, which is 2 years from now or 2 off seasons from now. And that lines up perfectly with Bronny James's NBA eligibility. So, obviously, whether it's the Lakers or anywhere else, LeBron is keeping the flexibility open where he's really only locked in with the Lakers for 2 more years. And then in 3 years, he wants to fulfill a lifelong dream. And I totally get it. He wants to play with his kid. Now, his kid, I don't watch enough high school basketball to know for sure, but I understand he's not considered at this point a top NBA prospect. So then, do you think a team with a high draft pick might reach for Bronny to get LeBron? It's going to be pretty fascinating to see how that plays out in a couple of years.
I got to be honest, based on what I've heard, based on what I've watched, and based on what I've been able to see in terms of scouting and projections and things like that, I think if Bronny James were named, I don't know, Dave Ehrenberg or something, or Jack White or Shaquem Jeffries the third or Lataquan Davis the 14th, we wouldn't be talking about him this much.
No, we
In
wouldn't
terms
be.
of his star, his prospect, yeah, he got a nice dunk over the weekend. That was nice, but that happens a lot in among athletes in high school. I don't think his ranking is high enough at this moment, even though he is getting offers from various colleges. Right now, he's projected as a undrafted free agent.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even though, teams have been willing in the past to draft undrafted talents in the second round, I don't see a team. I have a feeling that a team might actually pass him over once they realize that, okay, well, it's just, yeah, it's LeBron's kid, but do I really want LeBron here? As crazy as it may sound, like
Hmm.
that's a question that
Well, and
I
also
think
at that
Cavs
point,
fans are going to ask.
he's gonna be like 39, almost. I think he might be 40 that
Oh,
year.
he'll
I
be
think
40. Yeah.
that'll
hmm
be the season where he turns 40. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll have to see. But honestly, I think when it comes to that situation, he has to get better. He has to keep growing, keep improving. I saw a photo of him and Bryce the other day. Bryce is 6'6".
Ooh.
He grew like
Wow.
5 inches in the last year and a half. I don't know where this came from.
Why did that never happen to me? Like Ricky, I was like in my first and second grade class, I was like a
Mm-hmm.
foot taller than anyone else, but I
Yeah.
peaked early. Like if you had looked at me compared to my classmates in first and second grade, you would have thought this guy is going to be a 7-footer. He'll end up playing center somewhere in the NBA, making millions of dollars. But it's just like I stopped growing in like eighth grade. Like I'm a decent height. I'm like somewhere between 5'11", 6 foot, which is above average. It's fine. But man, I could have been a real contender, but I stopped. I peaked early.
I feel the same way, man. I feel short at 6'2". I really do. Like it's just I felt like based on where I was in middle school, I think I was like 5'8", 5'9", or something like that.
Wow.
The projections had me at about 6'5", 6'6", six
Yeah.
seven. And I kid you not, I wish I could be like a legit solid 6'4", 6'5". I felt like
Yeah.
I was destined to be that. I'm only 6'2". I feel short. It's something I'm going to have to take with me for the rest of my life. And you know what, Dono? I think that's just something we're going to have to embrace. We're going to have to embrace the inner sexy that is us
Right.
at our respective
Right.
heights. As far as I'm concerned, Dono, you're 6 feet flat.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even, ain't no 5'11", because you know
Yeah,
how that
I
looks.
used to always, and I was
You
living
know?
a lie for a while because at some point in high school, I started telling everybody I was 6'1", and I
Mm-hmm.
started to believe it myself. And then a couple of years ago, I decided, let me go up against the tape measure and see what's really brewing here. And 6'1" was a lie. I was living that lie for over 15 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what it is? I think, yes, okay, that might have been the case, but check this out, Dono. In many ways, if we're talking about this from like what is it, an anthropological or even a human life standpoint, you were able to successfully procreate.
That's true.
So you've already won. You
Yeah, that's
found a
good.
suitable enough mate that is willing to allow you to have dinner, and you got a little junior walking around. Like
That's
you
true.
won. Your
That's
height
true.
didn't your height was not a barrier to your success, if you understand what I'm saying. So, you
That's
know, hey,
motivational words.
so far, no, I mean, there's a ring here, but that's a class ring, and Thanos did nothing wrong. Until I get one right here, we'll see. We'll see if this 6'2" helps me out.
You're going to get it, man. I know you will. I want to. Speaking of players getting older, so Udonis Haslem is going to announce this weekend
Hmm.
whether he's going to be playing his 20th season or not. And everybody knows my take. I love UD. I don't mind him taking up a roster spot. And like if he's going to step, and I can't wait to get your take. But to me, if he's going to step away, don't step away this year when you're about to hit the 2-0, like 20 seasons. Like do it next year. You might as well, if you've gone this long, you might as well play one more.
Yeah. Oh, play is a very generous
That's a good
term,
point. You
Dono.
might as well be on the roster one more.
There we go. There we go. Look, if he wants to come back, there's a key under the mat for him. I'm not opposed to him coming back, honestly. I know that may sound wildly different compared to what I was hearing or what I was saying last season around this time, because the 15th roster spot isn't going to win you a championship.
Right.
You know, it wasn't the 15th roster spot that caused Jimmy Butler to miss that three with about 19 or 8 or whatever seconds left in the game. You know, granted, if he hits that three, they're in the finals, and who knows? I don't think they lose. I don't think they give away the series to Golden State the way Boston did, right? But, you know, that's a what if we'll have to worry about until the end of time. Udonis Haslem, I think he's earned the right to decide whatever he wants to do. If he wants to come back for another season, Miami has already expressed that they have no desire to interfere with that. That roster spot is his. You know, it is what it is, man. It's fine. He's more than welcome to. It's a great job. You know, veterans minimum is pretty solid in a state with no state income tax. You get to go on a road trip. And, you know, if I'm not mistaken, I think the only thing that could potentially stand in UD's way is his own kids. You know, eventually he's going to want to be around for the kids. Because I know one of his sons, I think, is already in college now, if I'm not mistaken, or approaching college.
Toledo, I think he
maybe
plays football.
Yeah,
maybe something like that. Yeah,
and I know he's got a couple others coming up. And you know, I mean, look, he's 40, 41. He's already the oldest player in the league. If he wants to come back, great. If not, look, we know that number's going up. I don't think that's a debate on anyone's as far as anyone is concerned in Miami. Yeah, come back for another season. Why not? Because at this point, that 15th roster spot isn't what is going to determine whether or not the Miami Heat win the championship. And on top of that, I think I've already made my feelings clear about what I expect out of this Heat team is currently constructed. I know I got flamed for it some time ago in terms of them struggling to make the playoffs. But look, where Miami is right now, okay, come back. It's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt the team's progress because at this point, the G League team is coming back. The Sioux Falls Skyforce, they're working with them again for the coming season, if I'm not mistaken. They're still going to be developing young prospects. And yeah, let's see what happens. Why not? Couldn't hurt.
So I got a little excited at first yesterday when I saw a tweet. This is going back to the schedule real quick. I saw a tweet that the Heat will have 22 national television games, but then I realized 11 of those were on NBA TV. So they're on NBA TV 11 times, ESPN or ABC 7 times, TNT only 4 times, which seems kind of low. Do you consider NBA TV to be national TV? Because I don't. Because I don't know who actually, you know, what like 10% of households actually have that. I don't consider that national TV.
So, I mean, I think you're very well aware of NBA 2K23 coming out later this fall. And
I'm getting in line for it at GameStop right after we finish broadcasting.
All right. So pre-orders are going through the roof, especially because of the Jordan Challenge and the deluxe version, the $99 version of NBA 2K23.
Whoa, not paying that for a video game. I'm sorry.
I know, I got you, but here's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
This $99 deluxe version of NBA 2K23 comes with a 12-month subscription to NBA League Pass.
Okay. You know what? I think I would pay that then.
So I think a lot of people are going to buy that. I was originally planning not to get 2K23. I didn't really care for it much. I'm still doing 2K22, but I'm going to buy it. You know why? Because it's cheaper for another year than I would have done so otherwise.
Yeah.
And it's still going to work when I move to France, when I move back to France in a month. So,
you're moving back in a month?
Yeah, just a little over 30-something days. Yeah, it's finally happening. It's finally happening. I'm thankful for it. It's time. It's time. It's time.
So that's why you're busting out your Ligue kits there. You got the Lyon kit. You're ready to roll. Is that your team over there, or are you just repping the jersey?
So I got a couple teams in France. I have Paris FC in Ligue 2, the second league, the second division, and Lyon, who I've been rocking with since back when they were dominating.
A really good friend of mine.
Sorry, and they're American owned now.
Yeah, that's right. A really good friend of mine who he's probably not watching this because he's only into soccer, but a good friend of mine who watches some of the soccer shows that I do is a huge Lyon fan. I think he's like, He lives in Rhode Island, so he's not local, but he's like the president of a fan club, like
Yeah.
for Lyon where he lives. It might be the only one in the States. I don't know how many Lyon fan clubs there are, but he's a huge supporter of that team.
They're around. I mean, because you remember during the 2000s, that's when Lyon had their real stretch of dominance. That's actually when I first discovered them. I always played with them on FIFA. They dominated for a while. They won maybe it felt like 6 league titles. And that was before PSG, got a little bit of
they got that oil injection.
There you go. Yeah, they did that. But I wish, I'm sure I'd be more than happy to talk football, real football, with you another time. That's going to be exciting. But man, I'm not gonna lie, I'm excited about this coming World Football campaign, especially with the opportunity that I'm going to have in a couple of months to watch the World Cup at a pub in Paris. That's going to be kind of cool.
That's going to be awesome. Yeah, I'm boycotting this World Cup coming up because my Azzurri did not qualify for the second straight World Cup.
Good.
So I'm boycotting.
Good. I'm going to tell you this right now. Donno, you may not know this about me, but I absolutely loathe, and this could be the very last time I'm on this show. I'm prepared for that. I loathe the Italian men's soccer team.
Okay, because of the 06 final? Is that why?
I'm not over 06, and it's not even just because of France. Australia beat them that day. Okay. They were going to beat them. That was their best chance yet to do something. And I forget who it was. That dude dove, the ref gave it to them, and Italy went through. I'm never going to get over that.
Happens all the time in the beautiful game, and you shouldn't be headbutting people in the World Cup final either.
Shouldn't be.
I don't care what he said about your sister.
I got you.
Should not be headbutting someone.
I understand. Believe me. Look. I'm still convinced that David Trezeguet was bought and sold because he was playing in Italy at the time. And who missed France's first PK during PKs?
That's right. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I will not submit any comment to that. But see, and I should honestly, I already admitted to Ricky the real reason why I'm boycotting the World Cup. I should always roll with this because doesn't it sound a lot better? Because the real reason why I'm not watching the Qatar World Cup is because Italy's not in it. But Tony 2 times, he's got the right idea. Yeah. He's boycotting because, of course, of the human rights violations and the deaths of 5,000 workers. That's now my official story, Ricky. That is why I'm boycotting the World Cup coming up.
You know something, Tony? I'm with you. Honestly, I respect your decision to boycott. Don't get me wrong.
And by the way, Tony's full of shit just like me because he's also an Italian national team supporter. So
we'll look past that for a moment. But look, I completely understand. I think it speaks to the outright corruption of FIFA. Because why in the world would you hold a World Cup in a country that's 160 degrees in the summer and it's still going to be ridiculously hot in the desert in a manufactured country? Okay. I mean, granted, all countries are made up, but come on. They literally took oil profits.
No, not the USA. The USA was created by God himself, Ricky. How dare you slander this great country?
Created by God himself, huh? Which one? Because I remember a lot of people.
She created it.
I remember a lot of people building it that didn't get credit or payment, but that's another conversation. My point continues. But I know we're running out of time. But look, yeah, I'm with that because Qatar or Qatar, they never should have gotten the cup. They never should have gotten the cup. It's a shame. It's a shameful act by FIFA, and it's kind of hilarious considering how many former FIFA executives seem to find their way inside a cell or behind bars within a couple of years. I think that's not a coincidence. And quite frankly, I think we really need to reevaluate not just how World Cup qualification works. And I'm glad that, things like Nations League and things like that are growing. But look, quite frankly, when you look at the fact that you've got a ton of teams, a ton of areas that are missing out on these opportunities, I think football can be used as a global humanitarian type venture. It can be used to open up the world. It can be used to bring attention, tourism, and economic prosperity to many countries that otherwise couldn't get it. There are ways to do it that don't involve pretty much giving more and more money to big corporations. I'll give you one last example. When they came to Brazil for the World Cup, you'd think that the local merchants and things like that would benefit, when in reality, it was the Coca-Colas and the Pepsis of the world. I don't think that's how you build a better society, especially considering at one point Pele once stopped a civil war just by kicking a football. decades ago. We can move back to that again. We can really build world football into something that not only benefits fans from all around the world, but we can really create it in as something that can be used as a vehicle for significant and progressive change that benefits not just the big corporations, but that little poor kid in Haiti who, never mind the oppression that he and his people have faced at the hands of the American state, but just give him an opportunity or give him hope for a better tomorrow that is clearly being denied him for a variety of reasons. I think we can do a lot better. I hope that we will, but it starts with improving MLS. But we'll save that for another episode.
That seems hopeless to me, the MLS part, but we'll talk about that later.
Always,
though, profound words spoken. That's why we love bringing on Ricky J. Marc. Ricky, thank you so much, guys. Make sure you follow him on Twitter at Ricky J. Marc, just to see at the end, okay? Mm-hmm. And make sure you check him out at rickyjmarc.com. Thank you so much, sir.
Appreciate you, Donno. Happy to be back.
Always bringing it strong, Ricky. Always. Yeah, respectable decision for any boycott. Absolutely. Whether I'm secretly doing it because my team is not in it, or if I'm doing it because of human rights violations, either way, the boycott is absolutely acceptable. So I do want to mention this because I did put it in the episode title. Deshaun Watson has agreed with the NFL. They settled on an 11-game suspension. So it's significantly greater than the 6 games that Judge Sue L. Robinson, the arbitrator, ruled for him. 11-game suspension without pay this coming year. He's going to also have to pay a $5 million fine on top of that, which seems to be more in line with what the NFL was looking at. I mean, Roger Goodell claimed he was looking at a full season suspension. That might have just been kind of posturing so we can split the difference between 6 games and 17 games, because that's exactly how it played out at the end of the day. But it's a little bit ironic that the first game that Deshaun Watson is going to be eligible to play for as starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns is right back in Houston. I mean, how crazy is that? I mean, you could say it's not crazy because they probably planned it this way. The globalists, the elites. But how crazy is it that Deshaun Watson's going to serve an 11-game suspension, and the first game he will be able to play in for the Cleveland Browns is going to be right back in Houston against his former team where this whole mess started for him. And it's been weird, like, reading and hearing Deshaun Watson and his agent, David Mulugheta, talking about this 11-game suspension, because, like, Deshaun is speaking out of both sides of his mouth, because he keeps talking about, like, I'm sorry for the way that my decisions have affected people's lives, but then he also strongly maintains his innocence. So it's like, which is it? Like, if you're saying you're innocent, what do you actually have to apologize for? It's a whole thing. And the other thing about it is, for Roger Goodell, why do you even go through the whole dog and pony show of independent arbitration? Like, why do you even have this Judge Robinson making decisions if you're just going to then ignore it and come to your own suspension? Like, it seems it's a PR thing, because Roger Goodell wants you to think I don't actually control all this stuff. But then at the end of the day, if the independent arbitrator comes up with something he doesn't like, he can just make the suspension whatever he wants to. But yeah, so it ends up being a somewhat significant suspension. I know a lot of people, and I'm not going to argue with it, because the things he's been accused of doing, pretty horrific if you read testimony from the alleged victims. So a lot of people think 11 is still not enough, should have been a whole season suspended. How come guys in the past have been suspended full seasons for repeated marijuana offenses, and then this guy gets off with less than a full? I get that. Now, the NFL has they no longer crack down on marijuana the way that they used to, so that has changed in the last couple of years. And the whole substance abuse thing and the NFL conduct policy are different precedents and different classifications. But I totally get that. A lot of people think still 11 games is not enough, but I think we can all agree that 11 games without pay and a $5 million fine is certainly a lot better than the 6-game no fine suspension that he originally had. So at least the NFL got closer to getting this one right. So yeah, guys, make sure you are supporting the awesome sponsors of this show and of the 5 Reasons Sports Network, like Prize Picks, prizepicks.com. This is that time of year. Yeah, you can make player selections for NFL preseason games. And if you had taken my advice last week and selected Skylar Thompson overs on Prize Picks, you'd be rich right now. Okay? Just like me. I've got $2 trillion and in a vault outside. I'm like Uncle Scrooge. I'm swimming in my money because of these Skylar Thompson overs that I took last week. Yeah, you can make preseason NFL selections. Major League Baseball. Prize Picks truly is daily fantasy simplified. It combines my love for parlays and fantasy. You simply select 2, 3, or 4 players and predict if they're going to go over or under their fantasy projections. You can go cross sport and cross league. You can have 2 NFL players, 2 Major League Baseball players. You can go cross sport with this one, folks, and you can get real money, 10 times your money for 4 predictions correct, 2 times your money, double your money for 2 predictions correct. It's so easy to deposit, so easy to withdraw, fully legal. And you can sign up with our code 5. So when you make your first deposit, type in FIVE, and they're going to match your first deposit up to $100. So you can deposit $200 and then have $200. You can deposit $100. Sorry, deposit $100, and then you've got $200 in your account to play with. Prize Picks truly is daily fantasy simplified. And make sure you check out our new sports betting sponsor here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network and on the Donno Drop, betteredge.com. You see our referral link, betteredge.com/5 Reasons. Better Edge, fully legal in the state of Florida. And what I love about Better Edge is someone who's experienced in the sports betting space. No fees, no hidden fees. There's no juice. They're not run by a big casino. Better Edge makes their money off of advertisements on their website. This is not an offshore sports book. This is a fully above board legal operation, and it's fully legal in the state of Florida. So sign up at betteredge.com. The reason why this works in a way where they don't take fees, like you don't have to bet, minus 110 and win less than half your money back when you make a bet, because it's peer to peer. You pick the line you want. You've got someone else playing the other side of it. So it goes person to person, peer to peer. It really is an ingenious way to make this fully legal and without fees. So if you want to check it out, Better Edge, see what it's all about. Sign up with our referral code. And when you type that in, betteredge.com, make sure you spell it right, BETTOR edge.com, betteredge.com/5 Reasons. They're going to give you a $20 gift just for signing up. Right there, when you type in that URL, it'll say accept your $25 or your $20 referral link, and it's right there for you. So make sure you check out betteredge.com/5 Reasons. Yeah, and Tony, you're probably right about this. If they had Deshaun Watson's crimes or alleged crimes, I've got to say that just to be respectful of the law, alleged crimes, if they had them on tape, he'd be gone Ray Rice style. I think there's no question about that. And it's like, I guess they didn't have, because he was probably doing it in his own residences or his own hotel rooms, because Robert Kraft was he didn't actually, he was never accused of sexual misconduct. He just happened to be getting rub and tugs, which are, not legal, depending on where you are, not legal where he was. But they did have cameras in there, and then there was footage. But I guess Deshaun Watson, wherever his lewd and lascivious actions were allegedly taking place, there were no tapes there. Lucky enough for him. But hello, Tony. Hello, David. Thank you for tuning in today. Let's throw out a few more shout outs. Our guy, Alex M. Pat Riley is waiting for the next disruptive player that wants out midseason. And you never know who that's going to be. It could be even some of the same guys we're talking about. Maybe Kevin Durant gets really fed up in Brooklyn. Thank you, PB Matthew. Thank you so much. And yeah, friends, make sure you support betteredge.com. Make sure you support prizepicks.com and the Prize Picks mobile app. We will talk to you again next time on another episode of the Donno Drop right here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network.